If you haven't subscribed already, ring that bell to get notified when new movies are posted. Chris Young here from HomeKit Geek. It's been brought to my attention that I do not shamelessly self-promote the Amazon affiliate links in the video details, so I'm going to do that now. If you are interested in picking this up or any of the products that I'm looking at, definitely look in the video details, and if it's available on Amazon.com, I've got an affiliate links in there. Yeah, I will get a little bit back, but you'll pay the same price, so it really just goes to supporting me. And with that, let's get on to business of looking at the iKettle 3. So the iKettle 3 is made by a company called Smarter. Smarter.am is the website, and they are really working on making your kitchen smarter. They have a fridge camera, retrofits into your existing fridge. They have a coffee machine, and of course the iKettle 3. And what is it? It's a kettle. It boils water. Yes, that's what it does. It is Wi-Fi based 2.4 gigahertz. It boils water, but it does it a little smarter than your average kettle. They can do things like location-based sensing of water. So on your way home, it will start boiling water for you so your tea is ready to go when you get in the door. As well, you can boil remotely. You can boil to specific temperatures. All that is really cool. There's a formula mode as well if you're at that stage of your life. Integrations, it does not have HomeKit, but it has If This Then That, works with Amazon Madam A, although not in all of the Madam A represented territories, and Google Assistant. So let's take a little look at what this is going to get you first. Trigger spot of tea.
Sending them to it.
And just like that, the kettle is automatically going to raise the temperature of the water. It's going to boil water up to 90 degrees, which is just what I wanted it to do. And I'll show you at the end of the video how to set that up. But first, let's get to the unboxing. So this is Smarter AM. You can see it's from Smarter here. It is a kettle. It is clearly marked on the box, and it works with If This Then That. I guess when the packaging was created, the Amazon skill and the Google Assistant skill was not created at that point in time. There is a web app, and they give you all of the coolness of what this is going to get you. They've got a wake-up mode. They've got water level sensor, which is kind of cool. Replenishment, if it's available where you live. There is a home mode, keep warm mode. It's just kind of a cool product, right? You've got the app there. So let's get into the box. So we'll speed this up here and get in quickly. Essentially, you've got instructions, that kind of thing in the box, and it's quite well packed in here. We'll get the kettle out. It is shrink wrapped in, so it keeps that nice steel finish, and it's really quite shiny. You know, it's nice. It kind of reminds me of a kettle that my mom had when I was a kid. So that's, you know, that's a good thing. It looks like a kettle, right? You've got the base here that it securely fastens on. You can spin it around, but it's not going to fall, which is a good thing, right? It seems to be very sturdy, especially if you have kids in the house. You do not want your kettle of boiling water being able to fall over easily, right? You have the connected instructions here. So this is really easy. Go in, select your product, add it into the app. And with that, let's go look at one thing that I did find that I do want to point out, which is the app. So I went looking for Smarter iKettle, and I found multiple apps here, which is kind of annoying. So I don't really know which one to use at first glance. So that's one thing I would have liked if Smarter would have been able to figure out is, why do I need to have a different app for the Smarter 2.0 versus the Smarter 3.0? Just to upgrade the app, right? It would have been easier that way. Smarter applications, Smarter appliance. Which one do I need? So eventually I just got the Smarter 3.0. That was good, and I went about my business. So here we are on the iPad, and that's usually how I like to do my my demos. Is the larger screen gives you guys more ability to see actually what's going on. In this case, it kind of backfired on me. So I'm going to go through it to the point where I had issues and explain why that happened. So basically you do a sign up for the application, put in your username and password. They did have a password complexity policy in here, which is cool. I like that. I like companies that take security a little more seriously. You can go in, you can read the T's and C's if you want. So looking at the T's and C's is always at least a good thing to do. Take a glance, make sure you there's no zombie apocalypse clause, or you haven't signed yourself up for indentured slavery or anything like that. So we're going to go back in, we're going to create our location. See if you have multiple of these devices, you have one at the office, you have one at home, you can kind of control where they are. So it's a home location concept. And then we can create the location network. And this is where I will kind of stop, because this is where things went a little bit sideways on me as I chose the device that I wanted to have. And it's going to say, hey, let's scan the barcode. I could do that as well. Let's go put our Wi-Fi settings over. So the way that they're going to push this over is not through something like the wireless simple configuration protocol or Bluetooth. They're actually going to use this blink up technology, which literally blinks the screen in a pattern that the iKettle will recognize and take the settings from that blinking. So they did have a nice little warning message that says, hey, if you're susceptible to seizures from blinking lights, things like that, you probably don't want to do this, which was good. You know, I like the fact that they're taking care of us as customers. But obviously I couldn't do this with my iPad. I just couldn't even get it up to the kettle. So I had to switch over to my phone. I did not get to film that. So sorry about that, guys, but I'm just letting you know what happened. So eventually I got my kettle added. It gave itself a cute little name called Cloud Kettle. Kind of cool. And now I'm going to go back over to the iPad. So here's where I also hit a small snag, is going back over to the iPad. It didn't synchronize right away, right? So I'm back in the iPad and I've got no products in here. I actually had sent a support email out to Smarter at this point in time. They did respond and kind of said, hey, we'll get our developers to take a look at it. But after I went to bed, woke up in the morning, it seems to have synchronized just fine. Everything had worked itself out. So I'm honestly not too worried about it. If you see this, I would say just wait 24 hours. So after day 2 happened, the iKettle comes back, and now you can see that I've got more control here. I got a wake up mode, a home mode, formula mode, replenishment, notifications. Replenishment I actually kind of found interesting here in that if you live in a supported area, you can actually order products directly from Smarter. So they've kind of got the whole system locked down here. They're going to supply you the kettle, and you supply you the tea or the coffee or whatever whatever beverage you happen to want. You've got notifications here, so that's always a good thing. So you can be notified this is going to get hot, right? So especially if you've got kids, you can control the desired temperature, how long you're going to keep it warm for, and of course the formula mode, which I am not going to be using, so I can't really comment on that, but I find it a really interesting idea, a really cool idea that this is not going to be just for drinking tea, but they're actually taking into account other use cases. Right, so here in the iKettle screen, you can see, got this dial, and if I kind of go down to the left, you can get down to exactly what temperature you want your water to be, which is nice. You know, if I want my matcha tea and I want it at 80 degrees, I don't want it at 100, I don't want it that, full boil, then I can control that, right? Which is, I think that's a really good thing. I've got my products in here, so I can always see if I've got multiple products. I could have a kettle at home, kettle at the office, all that kind of thing. So a couple things I missed earlier, and I wanted to point out, you can tap right in the middle and change that to Celsius if you want. Fahrenheit, you can go back and forth, which is kind of nice being in a metric country, that I have the ability to get it in my own system of measurement, if you will. And then again, I can go all the way down, basically as low as I want. Obviously, I can't chill with this. It is a kettle after all. But it's kind of cool that I have the ability, again, to really set the heat. So the wake up mode, I've got this in my office, so I can actually set this, hey, so let's set an alarm for 9 a.m. in the morning. So when I come into my office, drop the kids off at school, all that good stuff, I'm going to have the alarm come on, I'm going to have it repeat, I'm going to auto boil, and I'm going to set the desired temperature to whatever I want it to be. I have formula mode, heat mode, cool too, right? So I can control all that kind of stuff directly from here. So in addition to the alarms, we've also got the home mode, which is again, it's a nice touch, right? If you come home after a long day at work, you can actually say, okay, location, it'll use the location of your phone. Here's where I live, active between this and this time. Do I want to auto boil? All that kind of good stuff, right? We covered the replenishment, the formula mode. Do you want to turn it on or not? Again, I'm not going to use this, so I can't really comment on it. But if you are a parent of a young child who is still drinking from a bottle, this might be really interesting for you. I don't know. You guys are going to have to let me know in the comments below. So the last thing I wanted to show you, which is what I showed you right up at the front, is the if this then that integration. So as it happens, the smarter skill for Amazon's Madame A is not available in Canada, but I can get around that using if this then that and connecting it to the two services that I need, which is the smarter iKettle service, as well as Amazon's Madame A, which is kind of cool. So I can boil the kettle by asking Madame A here, and it's easy enough to turn on. What would I like to call it? Say a specific phrase, spot of tea. Seems like a good phrase to me, right? So I can say a specific phrase, but I have to say Madame A trigger spot of tea or trigger party time or whatever. And then I can also go in here, say which kettle, that I'm going to pull that out directly out of my iKettle. Do I want to boil the temperature to what temperature do I want it to be? Do I want it to be 70 degrees? You know, how do I want this to work? Do I want it to keep it warm? How long would I like to keep it warm? Do I want to enable the formula mode? You know, all those kinds of things. So there's a lot of functionality here that I can preset it. So whatever it is, however I want my water to be when I ask Madame A for this request, it's just set. It's a set it and forget it, right? Set it up one time and that's it. So that works with Madame A, but it also works with Google Assistant. So if you have any issues with Google not being supported in where you live for whatever reason, you can go in here and you can say brew coffee by asking Google Assistant as well by just connecting your if this then that account to your Google Assistant account, which is kind of cool. They've got you covered here, even if you live in a place where Amazon's not giving you any love. And that brings us to the wrap up. So the iKettle 3, it's a smart kettle. I can tell you personally, I've been looking for an analog kettle that I could just plug into a smart plug and kind of automate it, kind of the ghetto automation style, if you will. This really, it lets me bypass that completely. It lets me go directly to controlling the device, which I really like. I like the fact that I'm able to start taking some of these smart plugs out of the house and have these smart devices in there directly. What do you guys think? Is it worth the money? Is this something you consider putting in your house? Anything that I've missed? Definitely put comments, questions below. If you are looking at picking one of these up, please consider using the Amazon affiliates link. Yeah, I do get a couple bucks off of your purchases, but you don't pay any more money. That's Amazon just giving me a referral fee. So that would help me and just help me to support continuing to make this content for you guys. Likes are always appreciated. Share, you know, share with your friends, share with your parents. They might like this stuff too, right? It makes life easier, makes your house a little smarter. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring that bell so you can get notified when new videos are posted. Those should be coming every Tuesday and Thursday. And if you want to learn how to make your house just a little bit smarter using Apple HomeKit, please check in the video details. There is a coupon code for my Udemy course right there.